What's up, y'all? It's Kymmy Coco, and I am your host for Connecting the Dots from Innovative Black Station. And if you want to advertise with us, let us know. You can hit us up at connectingthedots@gmail.com or innovativeblackstation@gmail.com. Today, we're being brought to you by Soul Mississippi Candles. So hit up Soul Mississippi Candles, and do you guys still having a sale? This is my favorite one. Oh, no, it's not. This is not sugar cookie. This is caramel popcorn. And caramel popcorn smells good, but sugar cookie is my favorite. And I think sugar cookie was on sale. I have to try the honeysuckle.
The Magnolia Bell? Or the sea salt and orchid? I'm about to say, we don't have a honeysuckle.
It's not honeysuckle. What is it? The one, it's like, it was 10% off?
I had caramel popcorn and I can't remember which one.
Well, just check out the website. Pick out a scent.
SoulMississippi.com.
SoulMississippi.com, and they smell really good and they last a long time. Anyway, how was everybody's week?
Pretty good. Like it's been an interesting week, but we made it. We here.
I need to let y'all know we all agreed to dress up today. So if you're wondering why Dom looks like he's like really serious official, it's because we all agreed that we were gonna dress up today.
You got your sparkler, your glitter on.
We all agreed to wear Easter, and I was supposed to even have an Easter hat, but he's the only one that did it. So shout out to Dom, because he's the only real one up in here that
happy
keeps
Easter
his word.
Day,
Jay Black got a hoodie on. I got on a t-shirt.
Hey,
and
man,
now
that's the man we gonna have making the deals for.
Yeah. Matter of fact, if you want to advertise with us, hit up Dom.
Talk to Dom.
Hit up Dom if you want to advertise with us.
I got a deal for y'all. Holla at us.
This week has been really, really, really crazy. Started off on Monday. I was on CNN.
Mm-hmm. You were, like, you know what I'm saying? I seen you on CNN with Don Lemon.
Did you actually see me?
Twice in a week.
Did you actually see me on CNN, or did you?
I seen the highlights. I seen the highlights, so I didn't see the actual.
It was on really late. It was on at 11:45.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I didn't catch it, but I was happy that I was able to. You know, the internet, you can, catch anything. So
right.
Y'all had a pretty interesting conversation. I think it hit him by, like, oh dang, like.
That was the whole thing, because I saw the clip you put up was like 6 minutes. So the whole interview was 6 minutes?
The whole interview was 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Mm.
And that's a long time on TV.
Yeah, it is.
That's a substantial time. Like, because, we wait for our special. Like, you know what I'm saying? So 6 minutes, like, that's pretty good, Kymmy. You held your own, too.
I don't know what I was thinking was going to happen or how I was thinking it was going to be. But I was just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, just say what you got to say. Get the hell out of there.
That's why they wanted you. You know what I'm saying? That they wanted to know your perspective. They want to know your experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? You were directly connected to what's going on right now.
I hate that place. Like, I don't like to say I have this because, when you bring energy to something, it makes it worse. Mm-hmm. But I have had anxiety attacks. Mm-hmm. And not just like out of something happening, like I could be somewhere and just the energy, it makes me feel weird.
That's human.
That house and Lake Pontchartrain are two places that I just freak out. It's something about those places that make me real, like, I'll be like about to cry.
Man, that's a strong emotion. But I understand, because like I always tell people, that's one thing I feel like we're getting away from is like trusting ourselves, our gut feeling.
Right.
Like,
we got to do that more.
Yeah.
People got to do that more.
Yeah, being an older, my mid-30s.
That's a thing.
Yeah, like when I was younger, like I realized a lot of it. Just looking back, it's like, man, most of the time I was in trouble or I had issues.
You felt that and you ignored it.
I felt it and I ignored it, yeah. And
don't ignore it.
Yeah, now as I getting older, like, if I don't feel, because I remember, I think a few years ago, some of my friends went out, I could think it was like Labor Day weekend or whatever, to a lounge, like actually not too far from here. And like they were trying to egg me to go out, and I was like, nah, like I don't, what I'm saying, like, I don't feel like going out. And true, they went out, and not saying I'm a psychic in them, but like it was like a fighting and shooting, like where they went. And I told you so type of friend, but it's kind of like I'm glad I ain't go because I felt, you know what I'm saying, that
there's been a lot of shootings at the mall in Atlanta. Are you guys noticing that?
Not only at the malls, we gotta talk about these shootings on the interstate. Like,
what's up with that?
Yeah, that's scary.
People are just getting road rage and just busting off at people, or is it like targeted and they get them when they on the highway? Yeah. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, it's more
they're targeted and they wait until they get on the free.
Yeah. And I think it's because
it's easy to get away.
Yep, it's easier to get away.
You already on the highway. Right. You already in transit. That's crazy. So we talked about how the government, the state government, wants to get involved in policing Atlanta, and they just not gonna stop trying to make this lady look bad, are they?
Politics, man. You already know we in once again a blue speck in the middle of a red state in the whole scheme of things. We're
a blue city in the middle of a red state.
Yeah, so any chance they get to make the mayor look bad, they're going to take the opportunity twice, and that's exactly what's going on. It's a power struggle, and Atlanta is a powerful place, so it's always going to be.
Atlanta is the center of the universe. In this country, it seems like
that's a strong statement, but
I'm saying honestly, I mean everything that goes on politically in this country, to me, politics is the center of the universe because that's where you find out how everything is going on, right?
Well,
but in this country, Atlanta is the center.
I think I'll say Georgia is definitely in a dynamic place right now. We've seen what our election did on the federal level, and so I think. From that angle, we are kind of in the hot seat, but at the same time, I feel like it's always something at play. The stakes are always high, so we just got to make sure we're putting ourselves in the best position too.
Speaking of voting and politics, ever since the latest bills got passed, SB
202.
SB 202 and SB 531.
Sounds it's a lot of numbers, so I have to look it up on the second one.
I can't keep them all in mind, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, basically, the voting restriction.
Ever since some of the bills passed, we've been calling on corporations to step up and say how they feel, and unfortunately, some of them haven't stepped up until now when the bill is already passed. Which okay, Coca Cola, like. You don't like that happened. Why didn't you say something before that?
Yeah.
Like they were asking you to. Yeah. But the local religious leaders have given them a date. I believe the date is next week, April 7th.
Okay.
And they're saying if y'all don't step up and say something and do something, corporations, we're boycotting. Stacey Abrams said, I'm not really one to boycott or to call for a boycott, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody post something and they were like, Stacey Abrams, why is she? They're mad that she didn't call for a boycott, but that's not her. That's not what she does. That's what you do as a community.
I think we may have both seen that post, and I think I actually said something.
I think we were both on that same post because I saw a couple of comments and I just gave them the side eye. Somebody responded directly to me and I ignored them because I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's what it is. She's running for governor. I guess she could because Trump did it.
Yeah.
But we can't ask our people to do something that we didn't like that he did. You know what I'm saying?
And it to me, it's not even that. Like it's kind of like once again, everybody has their role. And what I was saying on that topic that we both seen online was that it would be, in my opinion, very reckless to even put Stacey Abrams in that position.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, now look at, like, once again, let's not even talk about it now. Let's look at how this lady has, I won't say single-handedly because she's had a powerful team of people behind her, beside her. But ideally, she's the face of this new Let's Vote Georgia movement. So that's the work that she needs to be focused on. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't ask Michael Jordan to go win you NFL championship too. Like, let Michael Jordan play basketball because that's what he's great at. And I think sometimes we forget that. Like, we're activists. Like, we good at protesting. We good at, you know what I'm saying, doing that. So that's what
this is the thing. The community has a role in all of this. All the power is always in the people. Yeah. Always. So the community activists, the local religious leaders, those are the people that are supposed to call for a protest, not the people that are running. Like,
Right.
let them play their position. You know what I'm saying? If you're the army, you play your position.
Yeah.
You call. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
Everybody has. That's how the military works. Everybody has their role.
In the world of activism, you know, there are people that are like completely radical, like, yo, she needs to be out here, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? NWA. And there's also the people that get it. Like, you kind of gotta, you don't have to say that. You know what I'm saying? But you can encourage it. Like, you know, like she did. She did it the best way. This is what people gotta learn how to do. Learn how to hear what people aren't saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's not saying that, but of course she would 100% agree with you if you did that, because that's what you need to do.
Right.
Because that's what people are for. That's what the community is for.
Definitely. And I always akin it to, like, it is, and I hate to make this analogy, but I feel like it's like if you were a famous person, how they always said people have fall guys. Like, I'm not gonna be the one to get in trouble, like, cause I'm powering all of this. If I go down, we all go down.
Exactly.
And so you have to be in tune enough with the game to realize, okay, I may need some soldiers. Like, and I know I got soldiers that can go handle that. So what, I'm gonna get on TV and be like, y'all go tear stuff up. Like, you know what I'm saying? They already know what their job is. I can wink or, you know what I'm saying, do a nonverbal command and it's on.
So on WSB TV, the article by Nicole Carr, Atlanta faith and civil rights leaders are calling for a boycott of Georgia's largest corporation should they not come to terms with four specific actions in the next week. The leaders announced plans for an April 7th boycott of several businesses. So hopefully you'll see this before April 7th. Pay attention. Okay. Coca Cola on the grounds of the World of Coke Thursday afternoon. This is where they held this press conference, the religious leaders of Atlanta. Those leaders described both Coca Cola and Delta Airlines' latest statement denouncing SB 202 as too little, too late, because the clear condemnation of the voting measures came a week after Governor Kemp signed the bill.
Yeah.
We've been asking y'all what y'all gonna do about this and how do you feel about this since before that.
Yeah. But I think a good thing that Jay Black hinted on last podcast or the one before was that, like, these are businesses. Like, this is what they're going to do. Like, they're going to play both sides of the fence because, like, once again, if I have a product and everybody buys that product, like, I don't know if you remember the quote that Michael Jordan had from his NBA career when people expected him to speak up more and to be the LeBron James of back then, and he was like, Republicans wear Jordans too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, once again, you have to realize which position that these businesses are in. And a lot of them do pick sides, but at the same time, if I'm in that position and you're not forcing me to pick a side, why would I? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting something from both sides. I'm getting the power and the lobbying of the politicians with the money I'm paying them, and the people that who potentially may get mad at me that like my product. You know what I'm saying? I got to find a way to try to keep them happy also. So if I can just straddle the fence a little while and make money both ways and get power both ways, why wouldn't I? Why would I just volunteer to make my life hard for you?
Pastor Jamal Bryant said, I know this is the headquarters of Coca Cola, but Pepsi may be the new taste of a generation.
But we had the same thing with Pepsi with the
Super Bowl.
Yeah, so it's like, what are y'all talking about? Like, you don't even know what you want to boycott. 1 minute you boycotting this, and then the next minute it's like, oh, this man, right. That's that barbecue mentality. Like, oh, just because they're not on board with this particular thing,
and
we can accept them.
We were talking about this a little bit before we went on air, but that's the thing that is starting to frustrate me with protesting. Now, I believe in protesting. Like, it's a part of me. Like, it's like I've seen what it's done this week, the last 2 weeks alone here in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So we have to find a way to be dynamic with our boycotts, but we got to direct them, because we can't boycott everything. Like, it makes you look like Jay Black said, we were just tripping with Pepsi not too long ago, and now Coke getting on our nerves. What are we gonna do?
Affleck has its base in Columbus, Georgia. They said they will not support any voting legislation that doesn't make voting easy and accessible for every voter. Now, Governor Kemp is like, y'all corporations are going to let Stacey Abrams and President Biden bully y'all, but I'm not. Okay, Brian Kemp. But guess what? Brian Kemp requested an absentee ballot a day before he got it, and you can't do that anymore. He dropped his ballot off in a drop box that was outside. You can't do that anymore. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, these laws, he's affected by this too. Like, everybody is affected by this. So it's not like they put stuff in place to where it's like, and then I think people got to stop saying it's racist, because black people are not. If you feel like you're a Democrat, black people are not only Democrats. I understand on the big picture how it can be racist towards us because of what we've been through, but I feel like we got to stop looking at everything as race and just look at these people just want power. They want their power, and I'm not about to get that up.
The rural voter of Georgia, who usually does not work 9 to 5, but 5 to 11, 6 to they don't work first shift. They're going to close the polls in some of these places at 5 p.m.
Yeah. And we're already having issues with that.
So, look. I've been sitting on my soapbox on this platform for 3 years, 4, soon.
Yeah, we coming up on 4.
We're going to have a big party.
And all I do is tell y'all to vote. Like, I'm sick of... Do you know what your grandparents had to do to vote? Do you know what they had to do? They had to take a test.
They had to do this. They had to overcome shit like this.
They had to overcome more shit than this. They had to overcome because they knew the power of the vote. I'm not trying to convince y'all to vote no more. If you don't see how powerful voting is right now, by all the ways they're trying to stop it, it's over with. Yeah. There's a time when God told Noah to build the ark. And it was a time for them to be out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't sit there and negotiate with people and tell them a flood was coming.
But you got to think, too, when it came to Noah building the ark, everybody wasn't on board. And they got left.
They come by laughing. Like, what
they got left.
Yeah, and so that's the way.
But that's not, to me, maybe that's not a great analogy. You know why? Because voting affects everybody.
It does. And just like, I always tell people this. I'm to the point now where I don't preach at people, because like it's that dynamic of like, once again, remembering you were young and you weren't always at the place that you're at right now. And so I try not to preach at young people about voting.
I was always like this.
And I know that, that's what I'm saying, but like you're just a different person, you know what I'm saying? You're not average, you know what I'm saying? And that's not to say the average is bad, but like you're a unique person. Like, it's not and I'm not saying that just to gas you up on air, but like, I don't meet many people like you, and that's why a little bit I gravitated towards you. It's like, oh, she's cool, you know what I'm saying? You got a young soul, you know what I'm saying? You have just as much as fun as I can ever think about having on my worst day, you know what I'm saying? So you just have a good spirit, and then you have you want to make sure that people are knowledgeable. That's all you do on this show is
because it's okay to be a voter. That's only half of the battle, though. Like, to be an educated voter, to be strategic in the voting, that's the key.
And that's why you have to meet people where they are, because you realize like that. And that's one of the things as an activist, and like sometimes how I was talking to people, and then you meet people like for real, like out on the streets at protests, and you realize like, dang, like this the only protest they done been to because they either work all the time or they can't, they might have had a day off and I just want to come out here. Whereas like you could be an entrepreneur and you can come out here every day, you know what I'm saying? People just don't, everybody's life is not set up just like yours. So I try not to talk to people like they're in the same situation as me, because
I try, but I'm like,
because life, I'm not giving people
I know
excuses.
You think I'm really nice. But I'm not. Like, I mean, I saw this and I was like, wow, this is so true. Like, I saw a meme and it said, I'm really not funny. I'm serious and I'm mean, and people think I'm joking. And I'm like,
that's the Jersey in you. Y'all just direct. Like, y'all just want to like get it out. Like, ain't no extra. Like, this just is what it is.
Right. Like, it is what it is. Take it like this. Yeah. So speaking of all this, one of the consequences of all this is the MLB, Major League Baseball All-Star game was supposed to be here in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, in the Bryce Stadium.
And they said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it here.
That's a big move. And I say that especially because baseball is one of the whitest sports. Like,
they move.
I'm so glad you said that, because I say that all the time and nobody thinks that. I'm going to say this on
air, and I'm going to say it loudly. It's a reason they moved the Braves to Cobb County. That is where their biggest fan base is.
So can I ask you this before we get into the details of this MLB thing?
Yeah.
Had they kept it there, can I tell you something? Sidebar. I was trolling the MLB on Instagram, and I was tagging them in all these protest videos. And I was like, do you want this? Do you want this? And so I thought that was so funny when they said, and you know, Biden came out and he was like, yo, y'all don't want this.
Yeah.
And it just like, I was like, yo, do you feel like, I feel good that they did that. The MLB, like you said, it's America's pastime, baseball, right? More white people, that's why they moved it to Cobb County. Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
If they had gone through with it, and would you think there would be a protest there? And if so, would it be on the scale of the protest in Atlanta, which it's still Atlanta, right? But it's Cobb County, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Do you think, because when in the summertime, when everybody was downtown and it was an army and you guys were like burning the city in Atlanta?
You said y'all.
Well, not y'all. Sorry. Okay, I have to tell y'all this. And I know you know this. If you watch this show, when I say y'all, I mean everybody but me. Y'all is everybody but me. That's y'all. Like, y'all is everybody but me.
You need to put that on the shirt like that. You should brand that. Like
everybody. Y'all is everybody but me. So I say y'all all the time. And when I say y'all, I'm just like y'all. Like whoever it pertains to. Anyway, when y'all in the world of protesting or whatever you were doing, when y'all were down here burning Atlanta up, there was 6 of us in Cobb County protesting. There was 6 of us on Cobb Parkway with a sign. And I was like, y'all not getting the energy we're getting. We're literally getting people riding by with Confederate flags. We're getting heckled in Cobb County. Y'all together down here in downtown Atlanta with Pastor Troy and Killer Mike and T.I.
Yeah.
And we in Cobb County with whoever riding by intimidating us, giving us the finger, cussing us out, riding by with Confederate flags. I'm like, can y'all come up here? Yeah. Like, can you come? We need y'all up here.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think it would have had that same energy in Cobb County?
I think it has a potential to have that same energy. Woo! But it would definitely take some.
That would have been, I would have bought a ticket to go to a protest like that in Cobb County.
Yeah, I'll say this.
I wouldn't even participated. I would just sat there with my folding chair, and I would have just checked it out because I would love to see that. Yeah. Cobb County don't get that energy.
It's different, man. It's different. I think Cobb County has historically been one of those places that.
Do you know my father told me that when he was young, they didn't allow black people in Cobb County.
I'm from Mississippi, and like when I first moved here, you know, like you got your people here, like, and people give you the layout of the land. Like, y'all ever seen that part on Lion King where they point to the
I'm probably the only person in the world that's never seen Lion King. Like, I'm not a movie reference person. Don't ever use movie references with me.
Well, that's for the guests that are listening. If you
that's for y'all, it's not for me.
If you've ever watched Lion King and Mufasa points to a spot way off in the darkness and tell Simba to never go there, that's what Cobb County was for black people. That's what I was told.
That's true. So my cousin that's my age, my dad said Cobb County black people weren't going there, period. My cousin who's my age, I mean my dad was here Jim Crow era.
Yeah.
My cousin is my age, and he said Cobb County, you know Cobb stands for come on black boy.
Come on black boy. That's what I learned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
did you ever hear that?
Mm-hmm. But also
that's a thing? Like that, and when I hear that, I'm like, and y'all were okay with that?
But also, let's change that dynamic, because one thing I will say, because, you know, I know a lot about Cobb County now because, like, that's where I am a lot, you know, and so it's one of those things to where I'm so proud to see Cobb County is turning into a very black space, heavily Latino.
But you know what?
And it's come. Cobb County was one of those places where originally in Atlanta, when black people started moving to Atlanta, white flight took white people to Cobb County, and now the tide's turned. The city's gentrifying. They're pulling a lot of the money back into the city. Black people are moving out.
Black people are being elected.
Yeah, black people are being elected, and they're taking that area. And this last election, like, it shocked me how blue Cobb County was.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
When I first moved here, Cobb County was purple, but Cobb County turned blue.
Yeah.
And guess what?
And it's gonna be blue for the foreseeable future.
When they started recounting the votes and they recounted them 3 times, they recounted them in Cobb County 4 times.
Yeah.
That's just how. And I don't like this narrative of places where black people vote, of the vote being illegal. And the reason why they're saying it's illegal is because all their forecasting that they've done and all their predictions, they don't ask black people. So when they get flooded with black votes, they're confused and they're like, oh, it must be some illegal. No.
And that's why
how much accountability do you feel like we should take for that? As far as them not being prepared, like, you feel me? Like you said, they don't ask black people.
I think
I don't think we want to be asked. I don't know any black people that.
So why should we be mad? Like, if we're not doing the census.
I think it's a good thing. Like, I get the census, right? I get not wanting to do the census. I get all of that. But at the same time, when you don't get counted, you don't get money. When you don't get counted, you don't get a space. You don't get your own space. You don't get. So there's two sides to that coin.
But I think people are so used to being like, it's kind of like this Atlanta. Like, even every neighborhood in Atlanta has a different feel. Like, if you know where you at, and so many people are used to not being counted. They're used to not getting resources given to them. So it's kind of like
they learn how to survive without.
But everybody, I hear the young kids, zone 6, zone 3. But do you know what that means?
But that's just like you.
Your district.
But that's just like you being proud of being from Jersey. Like, it's not necessarily a thing of the dynamic of nobody care about voting in that level. It's kind of like how everybody here holler Grady baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's you're strongly connected to where you're from. Like, most people are. Like, there are weird people out there that, you know, they may have moved around, or not to call them weird, but like, it's some people that just aren't strongly connected to where they're from, and they have their reason. But a lot of us are. Like, I'm super proud to be from Mississippi. So Mississippi Candle Company, it's in everything I do almost, you know. So I think we got to give people that space also, and use that to say, like, do you know what Zone 6 really mean? Like, you got to represent Zone 6 when you go vote. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just ways. Once again, I'll tell people we got to learn to start speaking to people in their language instead of the one that we want them to speak. And I feel like you can change. That's how you change narratives.
Let's get some reaction from some of our local leaders. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, just as elections have consequences, so do actions of those who are elected. Unfortunately, the removal of the MLB All-Star Game from Georgia is likely the first of many dominoes to fall until unnecessary barriers put in place to restrict access to the ballot box are removed. Oh, well.
Direct, straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
How you feel about Keisha speaking out on this? Because I feel like, you know, she's been pretty quiet.
That's great.
Yeah.
She's selective in the battles that she fights.
As she should be in some ways, I guess.
She and Fannie Willis.
Fannie, Miss ain't running from no cases. Willis.
They present themselves in a way that they don't always behave. I'll say that.
Politics. That's part of the recipe, isn't it?
What you mean by that, though? Because I think too, like, especially with both of them being black women, they do have to tread carefully.
Yeah.
Like, they can't just pop off. Because I know, like,
you seen how Kim came for her like a few times already, like directly at her neck.
Who did? Oh, Kim.
Yeah, Kim. Governor Kim. Yeah.
Right, but I mean, and again, even I know we gonna talk about it with the Chauvin case. Like, they want to put this picture of black people getting out of character. They waiting for Keisha to get out of character. You feel me? Just to say, like, I told you so. I told you this is who black women are. Like, and I think it's good that she, you know, you got to be selective. You got to be just like y'all was saying with Stacey Abrams. Like, you have to pick your battles. Like, I can only do so much. Like,
I like how she did get that shot in right where it needed to get, though. She ain't saying much, but what she said, like,
yeah, it's real clever.
Like, yeah. So I respect it.
Reverend Ralph E.L. Warnock, my favorite. He also spoke out against it. And he said, businesses and organizations have great power in their voices and ability to push for change. And I respect the decision of the players to speak out against this unjust law It's not just the people of Georgia or the workers of Georgia. And I don't want to get away from this because we talk about Georgia all the time. And I know we have a lot of viewers in Texas. I know we have a lot of viewers in New York and New Jersey. We have viewers all over the world because Canada was a big viewership. Canada, yo, if we need to go, holler at us because we might need to come up there. But this is not only happening in Georgia. There are, I want to say 27 or 43 states.
Yeah, it's like 43.
43 states.
Texas going through something.
Texas is going through the exact.
Do y'all feel like
same
if
thing.
the boycotts wouldn't have started this big like hoopla from the
from
people?
the summer?
No. I'm talking about just about this
about
specific
the voting.
bill.
Yeah. Do I think
Do you
that
feel like if the people when they went out and protest that this would have just got swept under the rug?
Yeah, of course.
So my question to that is, how genuine do you think these politicians are? Because they know what's going on, and now all of a sudden they coming out and speaking on it. But it took for the people to make the world aware.
Well, just like Don was saying before, like everybody has a position to play. They're doing what they got to do, so they have to say something because they have to address it because it's an elephant in the room. They don't have to say anything. They know what's going on.
So okay.
They bring
so
awareness.
how genuine is it?
Awareness to it.
How genuine is it for them to come out after?
For Raphael Warnock, he's been talking about this from before.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he didn't just come out.
Aware.
I don't know if Keisha Lance Bottoms has said anything about this before, but Reverend Warnock has been telling us to pay attention to these bills that are going to be passed before they were passed, before they were voted on. There's been a major push. We post stuff on our page all the time. If y'all aren't following us, follow us right now on Instagram because we try to keep things going in very, very, very fast, real time, current information. When we tell you a bill is being passed and we say you need to call your local elected people, send them an email, sign a petition, show up at the door, do it.
If you're right, like you literally, this is all public information.
That's the thing too about what happened to Park Cannon. Not only is she an elected official and she had every right to be in that building.
She was doing her job.
She was doing her job. Brian Kemp went behind closed doors. He picked 6 people. We still don't know who those 6. Do we know who those 6 people are?
No.
I've not found out. One I've identified as Barry Fleming. And that's only because he's the city attorney for the city where the plantation is at, where my family was at. And because all this attention has been brought to my family right now, we know who he is because there's people in Washington, Georgia right now protesting in front of his office to get him to resign. Oh, wow. Because he was a city attorney in another county, another rural area in Georgia, and they stood out there until he resigned.
Wow.
So the only face I recognized was his. Now all of a sudden Brian Kemp is not only wearing 1 mask, but 2. After he tried to sue the mayor of Atlanta for making people wear a mask. This whole thing is crazy bizarre. Then Brian Kemp is saying that the Major League Baseball players, Lindsey Graham, the Major League Baseball, they should be boycotted. David, all of them are the same, so fuck it. Donald Trump, all of them are saying that y'all, the white y'all, because the white y'all need to boycott baseball because they bent to the pressure of the people.
And I feel like that's where we're going to get into the interesting dynamics because they're going to be put in the same situation that the NFL was put in where they're getting it from both sides.
Oh, well.
And that's what I'm saying. It puts you
no skin off my back, less traffic in my neighborhood. But I don't care.
I also, the NFL started to realize how big their fan base was. You know what I'm saying, on both sides, and the issue of I respect Major League Baseball for picking a side one way or another because they've openly said that we don't support this. And that's big. I think that's huge for the game to have been moved from here. Like Jay Black was saying, that's like a power move. Because like it's a lot of people that work, for the MLB. It's a lot of eyes on the MLB. Like it's a brand in itself.
I mean, I think a lot of sports they kind of try to take because even a couple years ago with the All-Star game for the NBA, In North Carolina, it was the transgender thing going on, and they moved it from there. So
they moved it to New Orleans.
Yes.
Oh, it was supposed to be in North Carolina. The NBA.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be in North Carolina. They had that whole bathroom shit going on, and they moved it right to New Orleans.
I think that year CIAA didn't do it either. So.
I was there.
Yeah.
I went to New Orleans for the NBA All-Star game that year, and that's what happened.
And people don't realize like that. Especially with the CIAA, that's something that brings like major money to their area on a yearly basis. And so for like businesses that literally wait for that time of the year, because that time of the year literally can make the rest of their year. So to pull that much of an economy out of an area because of the dynamics of politics.
Texas, I don't hear y'all screaming loud enough. But there's one company that got ahead of the game and made a statement. Kyle Arnold from Southwest Airlines said the right to vote is foundational to our democracy and a right coveted by all. We believe every voter should have a fair opportunity to let their voice be heard. The right is essential to our nation's success. Southwest Air on Texas bill to limit vote times and mail-in voting. I don't hear y'all say a damn thing. I saw Black Voters Matter in Dallas. That's a good thing.
What I think too, though, like you say, the black, we got to stop making this. I don't think this is a black and white thing.
No, because if you go to the protest, you see everybody out there. It's not just a black and white thing. The reason why it's a black thing is because black people recognize that
the bigger, like from the history.
The black people realize the history of that, and because we've gone through that, black people also realize the people that are doing it are racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the fact that these bills specifically target black people. They don't. But guess what y'all, the white y'all does? The white y'all doesn't vote for they don't vote for their income.
It's the Derek
They don't realize that they're poor too. Yeah. They vote for their
interests.
No.
they vote for people that got the similar interests as them. So if they're racist, they're gonna vote for people.
Similar interests, though.
Yes, that's why everybody,
poor, regardless what color you are.
Man, don't nobody vote based. I mean, probably I can't say even Republicans or people that the 1%. I can say, no matter of fact, I can say the 1%. They might be the only people that vote based on their bracket because they getting them tax breaks. But black people, man, we voting because of this person is cool. They had great advertisement and we seen it.
That's your fault, black
but that's the reality, though. That's the reality. It is our fault, but that's the reality.
And basically, he's saying ignorance on both sides.
Black people. Okay, if we're going to start talking about black people vote as uneducated voters, and they see Bill Clinton playing a whatever.
Everybody vote is uneducated.
What is that he was
Majority
playing?
Of people vote.
Yeah. They saw Bill Clinton playing the saxophone, and they're like, "Oh, he's cool. I'm going to vote for him." White people, them being ignorant in their decision to vote, they're like, yeah, I make $10 an hour and I work from 5 to 12 at night, but hey, they don't like black people, and neither do I.
Or Brian Kemp. Vote for him. Brian Kemp likes guns. I like guns too. He's cool. The guns. It don't even have to be about race.
They get him with the guns all the time.
But it's all. Do you know that's the game.
The Second Amendment is supposed to be for you to form a militia in case you want to overtake the government, and they literally had the opportunity to do that. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see anybody with the damn gun. That even goes further into the point.
That goes further into the point. Uneducated people just being uneducated because you can walk down the street with a big ass rifle because you can't conceal that.
This open carry state, like, you know.
But I'm saying anyway, even in Ohio, like I remember one time where I lived at it was predominantly black, but it was one white dude. He walking down the street with a big ass, I don't know what it was,
a long gun.
AR 12, 15, whatever. Like he walking down the street with a big ass gun. But can't nobody say nothing to him. The cops can't say nothing to him because that's his right to be able to carry this big ass gun.
And guess what? If you and you're the ones that were not the one white guy were doing that, we would have gun reform in this country within 24 hours.
Why do you think we tell black people to go get a gun, go get registered? Like, it's power in it. Like, just think of because most black people from my dynamic where I'm from, they don't necessarily like guns, a lot of them. And then but I'm from a place where everybody hunts, everybody fishes, so guns aren't.
It's a way of life. It's not
But at the same time, there's a sector of black people that just are scared to defend themselves. They're scared to get in their guns. So you have those two warring mentalities, and so I always tell people, when's the last time gun reform happened in this country?
When the Black Panthers were standing
the
on
Black
the steps
Panther
of the
Party
Capitol.
of self-defense, armed themselves, used their Second Amendment rights, and laws start changing fast. And so I always tell black people, like, if it sounds crazy, but the way to stop school shootings is for black people to arm themselves, because when they see all of us going to get guns and willing to use them to defend ourselves and not be run over like we have in the past, laws will start changing. They'll start changing fast, and those laws will affect everybody. So it just, you know what I'm saying, once again, playing, seeing it from both sides, and realizing that as a people, we do need to get better at being able to defend ourselves, our communities, because we've seen the consequences of being defenseless in this country. Like, they're not going to leave us alone. We've seen it, we've seen Rosewood, we've seen Black Wall Street, we've seen, and I hate to bring up this horror history, but this is America and it is what it is. So that's why I preach to black communities to not violence, but just like guns are just like breathing air to Caucasian people. Like, it's just a way of life for them. And I want black people to get to that point to where we're not intimidated when somebody walks in with a gun on their hip, or we're not intimidated because we understand and have that same dynamic on our side also.
Being from somewhere where guns are mostly outlawed, it is intimidating when you see people with just openly walking around carrying guns. I mean, because in New York and in New Jersey, it's like, if you got a gun, you ain't supposed to have it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get it.
And that's what I'm saying.
And so it's like, there's something illegal involved when you see a gun. So it kind of makes you think twice when you see one.
And as you should, but that's why I always tell people, they make all these laws, and and like, of course you can make it harder, but it's a certain sector. It's like, if I'm a criminal, what you think I care about rules? Like, I'm a criminal because I want to, you know what I'm saying? Right? Anyway. Yeah, I want to do what I want to do. So that's another thing I want, like, law-abiding citizens to realize also. The people that are likely going to hurt you don't necessarily give a shit how docile, or they actually probably come to take your food because they don't think you'll fight back, or they don't think you'll be in the mindset to defend yourself and your family.
Another thing that happened this week, man, Derek Chauvin.
Oh yeah.
Are you watching it?
I've been watching. Of course, the cases it's long. It's on all day, so I dip in when I can. And
Did you watch it?
I watched some of it. I've been dipping in and out.
Man. So which powerful what was the testimony that was the most powerful for you?
It's two that come to my head right off. One was a young black man that was basically protecting the rest of the people out there.
The MMA fighter?
Yeah, him.
His name is Donald Williams.
Yeah, him and the actual police chief that testified. And it shocked me because I heard him say that Derek Chauvin did use excessive force, and you just don't really see cops going against one another openly like that. So it was just a weird dynamic for me.
This is my favorite part of what he said.
This the MMA fighter?
I dare you to touch me like that, I swear I'll slap the fuck out of both of you.
Yeah, I did. I meant to.
Right. So again, sir, it's fair to say that you grew angrier and angrier.
No, I grew professional. I stayed in my body. You can't paint me out to be angry.
And his face was so tight when he said that.
Oh yeah.
Like, how did this get to be about me being angry? Because the defense strategy is like, paint these people out that were around to be angry mob of witnesses. Yeah. And they were so angry to the point where Derek Chauvin couldn't even pay attention to how long his knee was on the neck because he was scared.
That's unacceptable.
He was scared, and the officers that were there that were with him, they didn't know he was on the neck either, because they've been charged too. Let's not forget the other cops. Their trial will be at the end of the year.
Right.
They weren't paying attention to what was going on because they were trying to ward off these angry mob of citizens that came up to the cops. Like, that's not what happened.
And let's put on record that these are supposed to be trained professionals, you know what I'm saying, at doing what they do.
The other one that really, she was doing too much, but I get it. Genevieve Hansen, she was the EMT. No, she was there. She came to the scene and she asked them, could she help him because she saw he was lifeless. She recognizes the signs. And they said, she said, I'm an EMT, I want to help. The cops were like, yeah, whatever, get out of here. So I know their face was tight when she walked in there with her badge and her uniform. Yes, I am a real EMT and I was there to help. And y'all wouldn't let me.
Right.
The other one that made me cry, Lord have mercy, God bless this man. Charles McMillan, 61 years old, 3rd grade education, just the neighborhood guy. We got these guys in every neighborhood in the country. The guy that you just see at the store all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they part of the community. They there.
He actually said 5 days before this happened, he saw Derek Chauvin. And he said, you know what I'm saying? When you out here in the community and you dealing with these people, make sure they get to go home to their family like you go home to your family. Just a wise old man. Yeah. Not old, because you know what? That's not too long away from me.
The elders of the community, you know what I'm saying?
You know, an elder.
Yeah.
Okay. He broke down and crying on the stand. Like, first of all, are you guys seeing these new angles and these new videos that you never saw before? I never saw the video. When I saw the when I saw the George Floyd video, I saw it on the news. I saw clips.
Right.
But when it was going around the internet and everybody watched the whole thing, I didn't do it because I can't.
You gotta protect yourself,
I can't.
Your psyche,
yeah. Because
it's dangerous.
I can't. But now that they're showing the trial, and actually, you know what we're seeing? They're protecting us. We're seeing some horrible stuff, but it's worse for them because they're seeing pictures and details that they're hiding from the public.
And they have to. Well, once again, I think people don't always understand the dynamics of how cases work also. And how, like, technically they can't always give you everything. Like, it's always extra that the public doesn't see in some ways until, like, sometimes they know stuff when we know it. Like, just because they want to protect the integrity of the case.
One of the jurors, this is how bad it is. One of the jurors became ill. She said she's not been sleeping. She was about to pass out. They had to escort her out so she could take a break. Juror number 44, a white woman in her 50s. She works for a nonprofit organization. They asked her if her illness was stress-related. The juror explained she's been having trouble sleeping, and she's been awake since 2 a.m. So white woman has been realizing some stuff that she can't deny. Yeah. It's just in your face now.
I think it's more. I think two things. I think she has a heart. It can be that she has a heart and she understands that this shit is fucked up.
That's what I mean.
Or
I think
I got to going into some movie shit like, oh, this some scripted shit. They didn't pick the juror. They gonna do the mistrial and you know all that.
Listen. That's not it because look, she declined medical attention, so she didn't want no attention. It's too much. It's a lot.
Yeah.
She said she felt like she would be okay going forward. The court seated her close to the door for quick bathroom access if she needed to go outside and get some air. That was it. They didn't make a big deal out of it. They didn't say, she might not be able to make it. They just said that she's been having a hard time dealing with this. People that are in the courtroom are coming back reporting. At certain times during the trial, they're saying that the jurors put their pens and papers down. Because at this point, it is what it is. I don't need to write nothing down.
Right.
But we've not seen the defense yet.
And that's what I was asking. So that's this week.
We're seeing the prosecution.
I mean, and then they just kind of like cross-examining. The defense is kind of cross-examining.
Right. But now they're going to have witnesses, the defense. And they're going to plead their case. And we've already seen.
I don't know. From what I see from the defense, if that's the guy, he's stumbling already.
He's horrible.
He's horrible.
Where did they get this lawyer? He might as well have got a public defender and saved his money.
Yeah, because you can tell, like I see him like getting stumped. Like he's there getting stumped. Like he'll ask a question, that answered, and then he'll just pause and kind of like think, like, damn, what should I ask next?
Yeah. The MMA fighter, when he was asking him, like,
that's why it was my favorite moment.
He couldn't handle him at all because he was like, did you say, blah blah blah? He was like, did you hear that? You know what I'm saying? Like he's playing mind
like
games
that,
with
though.
the lawyer.
I get it, but I ain't like it
Because it was like you're doing too much.
Yeah,
Answer the
it's like
question
you
and go.
being it's adding to a narrative
Combative,
again,
right.
like a bigger narrative.
You're being combative,
and it's just like, oh, this is why we treat y'all like this because this, you know, and it's just. But
I feel like once again, I always come back that people that feel that way about you ain't nothing you can do to change how they feel about it. So, like once again, I'm glad that he showed the emotion, but I'm also glad, like once again, he said I was able to stay in my body. Like I'm a professional fighter. If I want to like fuck them up, I could.
No, I agree with that. It was just more like, it was more like the sassiness on there. Like, then you hear that? Don't you hear that? It's just like, bro, let's get this shit out the way. Like, let's get this a clean. We don't need them having no excuses. We outnumbered. We already down. It's just like, bro, let's get us a fair case, let's get justice for this. Like,
I think I have some audio of Charles McMillan, the 61-year-old guy I was talking about. Let me see if this is it. He's crying. He really tried to talk. He really tried, y'all. And these people.
If you need a break to get some water, let me know. We can take a break.
He stayed the longest.
He stayed the longest on the stand.
They're not playing what he said. They're really just playing him crying, and that's stupid.
But what was the gist of what he said?
They showed him. He's one of the people that was standing out there with the witnesses.
Yeah. And
he stayed there until George Floyd was gone. Like, and he talked to the cop after that.
Wow.
And he said to Derek Chauvin, he was like, "Remember when I saw you the other day and I told you let these people go home like you do? Like, you doing too much."
Yeah.
Basically the gist of it. Don't quote me, but that was basically the gist of it. And he was like, "Well, that's your opinion." That's what Derek Chauvin said.
Yeah.
He was like, "Nah, man, like."
But how dynamic is that he literally had that conversation with him?
That's that elder wisdom, bro.
That's that elder wisdom. Like this whole case, like for the fact that one of the witnesses was a professional MMA fighter to understand different like chokes and all that, to be on the stand, like to be a key witness, like, and then like this older guy, for him to have this interaction with this guy a couple days before, like, man, I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And I think that's why I won't say I'm happy with the state of the world right now, but I'm glad so much is being revealed because, like, once again, just think back in the day when our grandparents and like our elders used to, it wasn't no smartphones, there wasn't no cameras, and they would cry out saying that this stuff is being done to us, and everybody else just turned their head or like, you're exaggerating or this didn't happen. And now we're seeing literally daily almost that these things that they said were going on are actually going on. And there are witnesses there, or like we can corroborate these stories, and it just really shows you how America has been on a path of where it is right now for a long time. And it's time for stuff to start being addressed. It's time for things to change, and like we're gonna have to be the people that speak up and stand in the gap and make these things happen.
Speaking of cops and shit, did y'all see it was a video floating around. It was a little baby, he's like 6 years old. He escaped kindergarten or escaped to school or something. So he was probably like a half a mile down the street. So the cop get him. The cop is aggressive with a 6-year-old. I think he put him in handcuffs and all that. Like, you know, why you leaving? You know, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it's just that these cops, man, and they doing this with body cams on. Like, I'm watching all this footage from the cops' body cam. So it just shows how bold they are. Like, we got to figure something out. We got to figure out how to get past that.
And it's sad to say
he was 5. He wasn't even 6.
A 5-year-old. But like this, once again, these are things we see.
First of all, yo, I just think about like if that was your kid, like what?
But and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people think from that dynamic, and they put their head down, and then one day it is their kid.
A police department in Maryland has released body camera video. This is the body camera video Jay Black is talking about. This is in Silver Spring, Maryland. And it shows A 5-year-old boy who had walked away from his elementary school this is the video they released. Okay. The 5-year-old boy who had walked away from his elementary school, calling him a little beast and threatening to beat him. The video released Friday by Montgomery County Police Department shows one of the officers repeatedly screaming at the child within inches from his face. "Oh my God, I beat him so bad," the officer said to the child present before telling him, "You do not embarrass me like this at school." The boy's mother has filed a lawsuit over the January 2020 interaction. Lawyers for the child's mother, Shantae Grant, said the video shows the officers treating her son as if he were the hardened criminal. She's seeking justice and fair compensation for the trauma that he endured. So if y'all don't want to do right, guess what? They just going to sue y'all. You're going to keep giving these people money, and then the power is going to shift. Another thing happened in Atlanta this week. Jabari Robinson Day was declared. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, I seen flyers and everything. Like, it seemed like it was something that, rolled out pretty hard.
Monteria Robinson, who's been on this show before, please go check out the previous episode on innovativeblackstation.com with Monteria Robinson, or on our YouTube channel, Connecting the Dots. The family of the man who Fugitive Task Force members shot and killed nearly 5 years ago declared Thursday as being National Jabari Robinson Day. Jabari Robinson was shot 76 times. He was burned by flashbang grenades while he was handcuffed here in Atlanta.
Yeah. Tragic case. Very tragic. And they're still fighting for justice.
He was at his girlfriend's East Point apartment. He was shot by members of the Police Fugitive Task Force in 2016. The task force includes officers from various departments in the U.S. Marshal's Office serving a warrant for his arrest. That's why they no longer coordinate with those officers anymore in Atlanta. This case is one of the reasons why. Police say they obtained a warrant after he played football for Tuskegee University. He was a Tuskegee University student. He allegedly filed at an Atlanta police officer during a prior encounter days earlier. The task force was attempting to serve the warrant on the afternoon of August 5th, 2016 at Parkside at Camp Creek Apartments on Washington Road. At least a dozen well-armed law enforcement officers in body armor were caught on camera by a bystander going into the apartment after Robinson refused to come out, followed by the sounds of gunshots. Former Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard said the case was a priority for his office. His office even filed a lawsuit against the Justice Department to obtain federal records about the incident. The DA's office said a grand jury was selected to hear the case against 4 others March 2020 before the coronavirus pandemic. Organizers called upon newly sworn-in DA Fannie Willis to be just as aggressive and seek criminal charges against those task force members. Robinson was majoring in biology at Tuskegee University, and he's also been a member of the football team before his death. Thursday would have been Jamarian's 31st birthday. So I believe not only did they declare that Jabari Robinson Day, but they've also settled with his mother. So they'll be compensating Monteria.
Yeah, that's
as they should.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Because this is the thing, y'all. This is the thing. People don't take life serious enough for me, because God forbid this was anybody that you know, or you or your family. Who do you call? Do you have the friends? Do you have the family that would be as strong as somebody like Miss Monteria, where she had to actually quit her job?
But she said, though, she said it on the show.
Fight for justice.
She said it on the show, like, she didn't realize she was this strong. Like, she just had to jump into this role. Like, she was kind of thrown into this.
And I've seen her get stronger and stronger and stronger. When you see her speak at these rallies, like, at first she was kind of like, it's just too much. But now she's like, I am the mother. Like, it's just, she deserves everything. She deserves everything. And trying to bring awareness and attention. Can you imagine just little old you? Not little old you, because everybody is very powerful. But when I say that, I mean, you feel small because you're trying to get a platform to get attention to this case. Like, it's so important to have the right people around you. everybody got these fake ass friendships, these fake ass relationships, these whack ass. And then when something happened, who you have in your corner?
It's put on Front Street in those dynamics, like the people that's gonna be there. I always tell people in situations in life when horrible stuff happens, sometimes be the people you least expect that show up and lend that help.
It's usually a stranger.
Yeah, so
unfortunately,
that's something we all got to get better at, making sure. Cause I look at myself like, man, I need to call my grandma a little bit more. I need to reach out to. And it's hard to balance sometimes, but that's why it's so, as you said, important to keep dope people around you that aren't just yes people, and they'll be there for you, fighting with you, next to you, just like you would for them.
Also, yesterday DMX, we found out that he had a heart attack. He OD'd. He's on life support.
We definitely sending prayers up for DMX, man. I know you're a big hip hop fan, and I know he's somebody we grew up listening to as far as his music, and we've seen kind of progression of his life, good, bad, and in between. He feels like he's a family member almost, just because he's so intricately woven into our upbringing. But we definitely hoping that DMX pulls through, praying for the family, and hoping he gets well.
DMX has like 14 children.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know he had that many kids. Yeah, definitely prayers for DMX. And too, man, to the media, man, just stop trying to be first. Trying to put out information, just let it happen. Like let the doctors and let the people, or just let him come back out and report that I'm okay, instead of trying to be or have
and that's what I'm saying. Like, who's your family spokesperson?
Yeah, and then
if you have a family spokesperson, you don't have to worry about all these people out here trying, milking your family name or whatever they were accusing some of the activists recently of doing. Have a family spokesperson. Like, who's the person in your family that who's your friend? Right. Who's somebody you. Man, look, we have to take things more seriously, people. We really, 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 really do. We do. Park Cannon made a statement yesterday. She is doing well, I see.
Very good.
She's wearing an arm sling still.
She got some good people around her, too.
I'm sure that it's taken an emotional and a mental toll on her, because being thrown in jail is never a good thing for anybody. But when you're at work,
doing your job, minding your business, literally,
and somebody drags you out of your job.
You said she's still locked up?
No, she's out. She got out that same night. Reverend Raphael Warnock, Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock of Georgia, came from D.C. and got her out of jail, along with Attorney Griggs and an army of activists were out there. Virginia Supreme Court approves removal of statues of Confederate generals in Charlottesville. They're tumbling down.
That's big, man. Like, symbolism is everything. Like, you take away people's,
Shout out to the first ones that I saw come down that were very significant to me were in New Orleans.
Where at?
In New Orleans.
Okay.
They removed those Confederate statues a few years ago.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years.
There's a group of protesters and activists in New Orleans, and they're called Take 'Em Down NOLA.
Okay.
And they surrounded themselves around this cause, and they got them taken down. Like, they took them down.
It's power in cooperation and collaboration, and be on the same page with people. Like, I would say anything is possible if you are willing to, either form your own movement or to be willing to collaborate to get stuff done.
They put the pressure on the community. They put the pressure on the government, and they put the pressure on those the companies, the corporations in Louisiana, and they got them taken down. And they're starting to come down all over the place.
But that's the energy we need. And just doubling back to, shout out to New Orleans, another dynamic city, a very chocolate city. Also, I love New Orleans, but that brings me back to here, man. Just shout out to all the activists I've seen on the ground in these past few weeks here in Georgia, because if anybody says that protesting doesn't work, they haven't seen what's been going on here in Georgia. Because, like, once again, doubling back to that Major League Baseball game, like, they pressured them to do that. Like, and these CEOs, Delta, Coca Cola, they showed up late, but they knew they had to say something, just because, and that pressure came from a lot of these activists and community leaders here. So shout out to y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Yeah, shout out to all the local activists. you know, they only give Black Lives Matter the light of day, but there are dozens, hundreds of little community activists that get out and they show up, grassroots organizations, and they get shit done. Make sure you guys reach out to your local elected officials and ask them to pass HR 1. HR 1 is called For the People Act. Since HR 1 is the United States, they're asking you, the United States Congress, to expand voting rights, change campaign finance laws, and reduce the influence of money in politics. So that federal law would squash all these little local laws and all these state laws that they're trying to stop or limit or, I don't know, get people not to be able to vote as easily as they're doing it now.
Definitely a way to balance out the force, for sure.
So put the pressure on people to vote for HR 1. That's all I got for the week.
That's your action item for the week.
That's my homework assignment.
So I need y'all to, just like the lady said, go to Google, type in HR 1, and teach yourself some things.
Because they've already started telling people HR 1 is bad. Lindsey Graham and the good old boys, the grand old party, or whatever.
Sounding boards, for sure.
They've been out there telling people HR 1 is bad, and for the people that aren't paying attention, they're gonna think it's bad because they let people think for them.
And like, once again, that's what they count. I always tell people, in politics, the money is made on people being miseducated or uneducated. So if we can know a little bit about a little bit, we'll be a lot better off people.
Absolutely. Know a little bit about a little bit. We ain't asking y'all to go out and get civics degrees.
Right. just read a little bit sometimes.
Just read a little bit. Watch a little bit.
You know, get on Google. Like, you'd be surprised the things you can teach yourself, things you can find out, and also the things you can share with other people to help them really become a community. And that's how you start movement. So don't sleep
how it works.
Yeah, don't sleep on yourself, people.
We're going to get our calendar together and get our guests lined up, and we won't be the only ones up in here talking to y'all soon. There'll be more people. We're going to get some of these people.
We got some dope people coming up, so I think it's cool to kind of switch it up. And I think that gives us a level of hearing what we really think, and then also allowing others onto our platform to, you know, showcase them and see what they think, and just have some good debates, because that's how you learn. Sometimes people are scared to have conversations, and you got to have those conversations to actually learn. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to just be respectful, and
because we don't agree on everything.
Yeah, we fight all the time. All three of us, like we you know what I'm saying. We don't always see things eye to eye, but I think that's what makes the dynamic of this show so great.
On a lighter note, on a pop culture note, there was a couple that got into a fight in an elevator. There's been a lot of weird pop culture stuff, and I try not to get into kids' business because they're all kids. But Quavo and Saweetie, they broke up. But now there's a video that came out
from about a year ago. Yeah,
that's how long ago that was.
Yeah, they said the video about a year and a half ago.
Even my daughter and her friends called me up like, "What do you think?" I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Then what's his name with the devil shoes?
Oh yeah, Lil Nas
and like,
X.
What are y'all doing? Then they said. What's her name? Cardi B's husband, the other Migos. Offset was gonna rob Lil somebody. What happened with that?
No, so
Lil Uzi was he? Is that the one with the thing right here?
Yeah,
he was gonna take that, or just he was gonna rob him. Period.
I think this was before that.
Yeah, I'm about to say it was before that. But like, once again, like, I think this is a testament to, like, it sounds all crazy, right? Like it sounds all crazy, but like, I remember two podcasts ago, we talked about you coming up in New York and going to these parties and everything was going on, like the dynamic, and that's what made it so cool, because the dynamics of what was really going on. It's like, dang, like, and it wasn't that big to y'all because it was kind of,
it was there.
It's just there. And I always tell people, these young people, they're the same way. We just don't necessarily understand it, but like, it's gonna be beef, it's gonna be arguments, it's gonna be
drama.
Yeah, it's gonna be drama, and of course we don't want it to end up in Biggie and Tupac situations, but
please don't,
like, you know what I'm saying, at the same time we have to realize that this is, you know, especially in creative space, one thing I learned about artists is they divas, they sensitive, they, you know what I'm saying, but that's also what makes them good at what they do. So, you know, I try not to be too hard on, because of course, the Quavo and Sweetie situation, I think everybody should keep their hands to themselves. Like, that's my mindset. So it was kind of disappointing to see both of them doing, you know, having that type of issue with one another. And I root for everybody, but like, if they have to be apart and find a better love for themselves, like I'm totally okay with that because we shouldn't have to love each other that way.
I just feel like
me and him agree.
I feel like they
Me
were
and him
simply.
agree.
I feel like these kids, they wasn't outside. I feel like they was simply playing a game of tug of war, and she lost. That's it. That's it. They was playing tug of war, and she lost. You know, at tug of war, you fall when they drop the thing.
I'm not trying to make fun situation, but man, like I joked, it must have been world peace in that bag because she was literally trying. I don't know what's in that bag.
I think it was like an Xbox. I'm hearing it was an Xbox.
Yeah, it's a Call of Duty. Quavo's a big Call of Duty fan, and it was Call of Duty bag she was trying to get to. So once again,
but okay, let's take this situation. Say if she do take the bag and she throw it, how is he supposed to respond to that? Like what? How do what?
I don't think that would have necessarily meant he should have went off on her.
Yeah.
But in the course of them interacting with each other, they were roughhousing at the end of the day.
But I don't think from what I seen in the video, and I probably I just watched it once, but I didn't necessarily see him put his hands on her. I just seen him grabbing at the back and she fell. That's why I say tug of war.
And that's
I mean, you're a nice guy. And you treat your woman like a queen.
Yeah.
And you guys have that kind of relationship. And I love that. So you probably can't even imagine not handling her as a delicate flower.
But relationships are different.
But everybody's relationship is different.
Because some people, they play like that.
I'm turned up.
Yeah, some people play like yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I could imagine, getting into it, but not really. Like, give me that. You know
But I think.
But you know what I mean.
But that's the dynamic.
Did I spill that on myself?
I think
It's all over my shirt.
I think it might have missed you.
Oh,
and some women would be like, Jay Black, I can't believe you just threw that water on me. And I know Jay Black sitting there minding his business. But I think and from a guy standpoint, that's why we have to be so careful talking about this, because I can't speak for all guys, but I've been in a relationship where a chick didn't mind well enough for thinking it's okay to do that. And I had two options. I could have caught back and you know what I'm saying, hit her back, but as a guy you realize, man, I got to get out this situation, or
But that's what it looked like. It looks like they had the kind of relationship, and this is what I'm saying. Y'all portray yourselves to be the best friend couple, and I be where
but
he
you
be,
still
and
can
be
be friends and have disagreements.
Right.
That's just what it comes.
But I'm saying if that was.
And then for it to be a year ago, so this is a year, and then everything happened.
Year after that.
Yeah,
but once again, I can't even say that because
you have seen
how many times have we?
Tina Turner was
how many times have we been in situations? Maybe not necessarily a physical altercation, but it's been a lot of situations where we probably stay longer than we should. So
for comfort, I understand that too. I understand that too, but
they're both rich and independent people, and young as hell.
But I think Quavo is rich. I think she's rich because of Quavo, but I can't really speak for their situation.
She gonna
Quavo put her in a good position.
She's potentially gonna be rich. She's got a whole career ahead of her.
Yeah, that was both of them in good situations.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe because she's.
I mean,
at the end of the day, not to take nothing from her. She raps. She's doing something, but we know her as being a rapper's girlfriend. You feel me? Until she proves differently, and that's not to put a knock on her. She's young. She seems like she has a degree from USC, so she seems to have a good head on her shoulders. So it's just okay, man, we know who you are, because it seems like when these girls usually break up with these rappers, once we get to know them, it's a pattern of them doing the same thing, so we see who they are.
They drag the guy. They make the guy, he's the bad guy, and now all of a sudden,
and they jumping from rapper to rapper. They jumping from different rappers looking for a come up instead of coming up on their own or being this strong, independent woman they claim to be. And that's, like I say, I'm not looking to take nothing from her or, discredit her, what she do. But,
we starting to see a pattern.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Quavo, out of the couple, he's the biggest star. You know what I'm saying? That's unquestioned. So, and that's not, she has a established career. She has a brand, I'll say. Sweetie is a brand. So, I feel like she'll be okay. But once again, facts are facts. And so I said, no matter how you feel about it, we're gonna be all adults. Everybody need to keep them hands to themselves, and we won't be in these issues. And we can go from there.
And that's that one.
On Mary Had a Little Lamb, did they say?
And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. All right, y'all. We'll catch up with you next week. Make sure you check out Soul Mississippi Candles. I really want to remember which candle that was that I want to try. Like I said, they smell really good, and it lasts a really long time. Like, even if you just have it sitting in your house after you burn it, the smell lasts, and that's all we want, aromatherapy. So make sure you check out our previous episodes, our future episodes. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Connecting the Dots. Make sure you check us out on innovativeblackstation.com, and follow us on Instagram, CTZ_ATL. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.